In this video, I will explain how to engage in the speed dating book activity, as well as how to write a book blurb. Do you know what books are in your school library? Often teachers are not aware of the many different books that are in their school library. The more familiar we are with the books our school library has available, the better off we will be as reading teachers for our students. Not only will we be able to recommend books we've seen in the library to our own students, but we will also now know of books about topics we are teaching in our curriculum, read aloud books we can use with our students in the classroom, and anchor texts that we can utilize in our lesson plans to complement the reading skills that we are teaching. This is a win-win for all of us. Your library is full of books you may have never seen before, both chapter books and picture books. The speed dating book activity simply allows teachers the opportunity to quickly browse their school library's book collection to get to know the books that may be hiding in your school's library. Super simple. Lay out about 30 to 50 books of various genres and reading levels on 2 long tables or desks. Teachers are given a shopping list to take with them that they can jot down notes on during the activity. And teachers will begin the activity by standing in front of one book at the table and will have 60 seconds to browse the book directly in front of them. During the 60 seconds, teachers will scan the back of the book if there is a synopsis, leaf through the pages, and jot down the title on their shopping lists. They can also take note of what the book is about and how the book could be used to teach an aspect of their current curriculum. Some books will complement the curriculum perfectly. Others we will have to be more creative with. But by getting to know the books in your library, you are training your brain to think about these books as teaching tools. So, 60 seconds with one book. Facilitators will time the activity and let you know when to begin with your first book. They will give you a time check at 30 seconds and remind everyone to stop once the time is up. After the first round, teachers will take a step to the right and move around the table counterclockwise to browse another book. Facilitators will announce the next round to begin, and teachers will browse their second book the same way, using their shopping list to take quick notes. Depending on the time allotment for this activity, teachers may have the opportunity to browse as many as 8 or 10 books during the activity. Once the activity is over, return to your seat with your shopping list and be ready to share with a partner about your findings. Pause the video to conduct the speed dating book activity. Okay, so how did it go? Could you see yourself using this activity with your own students? Bringing books from the library into the classroom and having them browse these books as books they may want to read for themselves in the future? What about your school's staff? Could your library team get a bunch of the books from your library, put them out on tables, and have your school staff of teachers rotate around these books to get familiar with what's available to them? A talk and turn is an activity you can easily do with your students in which each participant thinks, talks, listens, and connects with a partner. First, do your own thinking so you are ready to share. Next, take turns sharing ideas with your partner. Then listen by paying attention and thinking carefully about what your partner says. And finally, find ways to connect your thinking to your partner's. Let's try it out by answering the question, what book did you discover during the speed dating book activity that you can see yourself using to teach with? Use your shopping list notes to share your thoughts about one book. Talk and turn with your partner for 60 seconds. On your mark, get set, talk. Pause the video and then resume once the talk and turn is over. Now let's talk about writing a book blurb. The book blurb section for the Teacher's Resource Guide lists books that can be used by various grade levels to teach about certain topics from our curriculum. Let's take a look at this one together and discuss what you notice about it after reading it. Pause the video and resume it after a quick discussion about your findings. Book blurbs include the curriculum content, a brief list of 2 or 3 ideas. Uses basically means whether the book could be used as a read aloud, a shared reading book, an independent book activity, a good book for a reluctant reader, or a good book to use with centers. The book title is included and the publisher, which can be found on the title page of the book, but including the publisher on a book blurb is really optional. And then it's just optimal, the publisher is just optimal in helping other teachers to locate this same book in their libraries for using it themselves in a lesson. Then you have a short description, like a 1 to 2 sentence summary of the book, so teachers know what the book is basically about or the main topic. And finally, how the teacher can use this book. Basically a short list of how the book can be used to teach specific content, skills, strategies, etc. Today, you will have the opportunity to write a book blurb to add to the TRG. You see, there's a reason why this publication is in a 3-ring binder. It's meant to be added to by teachers like you. So let's practice and learn how to write a book blurb by writing one together. If you watched the 6 Crows Read Aloud video, then you're familiar with the book 6 Crows by Leo Leone. Feel free to follow along with the handout if your facilitators have one for you. If not, just follow along on the screen. What curriculum content could we teach with this book? Just main ideas, a really brief list. How about story elements, conflict and resolution, social studies concepts, and science? I have a list of these that you can choose from at the end that may really help you in generating some of these ideas for you. Okay, now uses. How can this book best be used in an activity or a lesson? So I used it for a read aloud, but I also sprinkled in some of the shared reading concepts by pausing before reading words to see if my students knew what word came next in the sentence as they were following along and thinking about the story. So I am writing shared reading and read aloud for this one. Book title is 6 Crows. Publisher is Macmillan McGraw-Hill. I know that from opening up to the first page, the title page, and scanning the bottom of that page where I can find the publisher name and logo. But remember, if you can't find it, don't worry about it. Leave it blank and move on. The last 2 parts of the book blurb are what the book is about and how the book can be used to teach. So I have these sentence starters to help coach me in writing these. Feel free to use these sentence starters yourself to help you in making this writing process easier. This book is about 6 crows who antagonize a wheat farmer. So he puts up a scary scarecrow to keep the crows away. The crows create a threatening kite in response until the wise old owl encourages the crows and the farmer to solve the problem through discussing their needs. Short, simple, to the point. The teacher reading this knows what the book is about and doesn't have to be detailed. Okay, last part, how this book can be used to teach. So story elements like character, setting, and plot can be easily identified, and this book can be used to teach sequencing order of events. This book is great to use when teaching conflict resolution and spurring class discussion. 6 Crows is ideal for shared reading because words are repeated often with picture prompts throughout the pages. Repeated words provide an opportunity for students to listen with a purpose. So now it's your turn. Use a blank piece of notebook paper or the back of your handout to write a book blurb. Choose a book that you are familiar with, preferably one that you just discovered from the speed dating book activity that resonated with you. Review and list how the book can be used to teach. Write a brief 1 to 2 sentence summary. Then write a short list of what the book could be used to teach. You can pick from the list on the next slide to help you. And of course, reference the book blurb section from the teacher's resource guide to help you. These are models to support you in being able to do this yourself. Keep in mind, these are not detailed lesson plans. These are just a few ideas that you could turn into lesson plans if you wanted to. but they are meant to launch you and other teachers into using more books to teach with. Here is a list of some of the curriculum content you could teach to your students through the use of one of the books you browse during the speed dating book activity. Feel free to use this list as you write your own. Active listening, thinking while reading, listening with a purpose, making predictions, rhyming patterns, use question words, who, what, where, when, how, story elements like character, setting, plot, sequencing, ordering story events, vocabulary, using context clues to determine meaning, identifying the problem and solution, making text to self connections, drawing conclusions, identifying cause and effect, comparing and contrasting similarities and differences, relating to similar experiences, considering different perspectives or viewpoints, summarizing or retelling, identifying main ideas, identifying elements of fiction or nonfiction, identifying author's purpose, identifying author's word choice and style, analyzing character, internal and external traits, identifying words in the text with similar phonic sounds, science concepts, social science concepts like citizenship, manners, history, economics, etc., math concepts, and health concepts and family life. Our goal at Hands Across the Sea is for you to use these book blurbs yourself with your students. If this book is in your school library, go get it, check it out. Use the activity or activities you wrote down in your book blurb with your actual class and see how it goes. Then share what you did with other teachers at your school. The goal is to collaborate, share ideas with others, steal one another's ideas, and keep experimenting with what works for you and for your students. Our goal is to see you use these books in your library. We want our libraries to be used. These are your resources. These are your libraries to be able to use those books, not just sitting on the shelf to look pretty. A successful library is one in which teachers and students are regularly checking in and out books, reading those books, and teaching with those books. You can do it. We believe in you.